avoid them. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is when you're applying for your DOT number, especially if you're a new venture and you're just starting out, it is very important that you set up your DOT number, do it as accurately as possible. But a lot of times when, especially new truckers, are setting up their DOT number, they'll also apply for an MC number, which if you're crossing the state line, you're leaving your state going into another state, you 100% need that MC number. But there's a lot of times where I'll find, especially new clients that are just coming into the trucking market, they'll apply for a DOT number and then they'll just go ahead and apply for an MC number as well, because they're already in the application. They figure I might as well do it at the same time. It's not a huge cost up front. I think it's $360 or something like that. So a lot of times truckers will go ahead and apply for that MC number. That is the mistake. It's not that you should never apply for an MC number, but you should not apply for one unless you need one. MC numbers add red tape to the insurance and to the operation of your trucking business. And you don't want red tape if it's not necessary. It is there for a reason. I'm fine with it at the federal level of truckers driving across state lines. We want to make sure that they've got the proper insurance. But if you are not leaving your state and you're not required to have an MC number, do not apply for one. Because if you apply for an MC number and we try to rate you basically with a short radius, maybe you're only running a 100-mile radius from your hometown. A lot of carriers, if you have an MC number, just the fact that you have one will force us into an unlimited radius, and that alone can boost the premium a pretty good bit. So that's mistake number one, is applying for an MC number when you don't need one. The second thing I want to talk to you about is when you're applying for your DOT number at the FMCSA website. One of the sections on your MCS 150, which is that page that shows kind of what your company snapshot is and what you do, there's a section that's called Cargo Carried. The cargo carried section has many items in it where you're supposed to basically list the types of cargo you plan to haul with your trucking business. A lot of times, again, this is especially for newer guys, they'll think that if they don't check every single box, it'll hamstring them where they're only allowed to haul a few items. It's actually kind of the opposite is the way you need to think about it. If you know for sure you're going to be hauling general freight, then choose general freight. If you don't know for sure that you're going to be hauling anything else, don't choose anything else until you're sure you're going to be hauling that item and hauling it enough to actually list it on your FMCSA form. You shouldn't choose it as a cargo carried, because a lot of times with these carriers on the back end, when they do their original DOT review, they're going to crawl that cargo carried section to see what kind of cargo you're looking at or you're hauling. And if they see anything problematic on there, they'll come back and ask about it, and sometimes could deny the claim. And if it's not something that you've ever hauled or something that you've even thought about hauling and it's on your cargo carried list and it gets you DQ'd from a quote, it's just not good business. You should make sure that when you're filling out that cargo carried section that you're honest, but that you're not just wishful thinking and putting things on there that you're not actually hauling yet. So that was mistake number two. The final one we're going to discuss today is your out of service percentage. This one is a tough one because there's not a lot of paperwork you can do to help your out of service percentage. This is just good old fashioned trucking work. You got to make sure you're doing your pre-trip inspections, your post-trip inspections, make sure your truck's in tip-top shape, because once you go in and if you get your vehicle inspected and you have an out of service inspection, maybe one or two, it goes on your record for at least 24 months, usually at the FMCSA, and anytime we're going to be running a quote, they're going to look at that. If you have a high out of service percentage, depending on the carrier, it could be so quick that we put in your DOT number, it runs a behind the scenes algorithm, and it declines the quote just based off of your out of service percentage. So out of service percentage is very important. You want to keep an eye on it. You want to try to make sure that anytime you're being inspected on your vehicle or your drivers, that you're passing those inspections. Each one of them matter and they count a lot. Those are the three that I kind of wanted to hit on the most. All right, guys, I went over the three main mistakes that we wanted to talk about in this video, but there is a fourth one that I'm going to throw in here as far as trucking mistakes go, and I'm going to say that's calling a direct writer versus calling an independent agent for a quote. What I mean is if you call an insurance company directly, or you call someone that represents just one insurance company directly, and they do a quote for you, they're only going to quote you through their carrier with the prices and the options they have available through that carrier.